What's up, guys? Welcome to the Bigfoot Researcher's Journal. Today we're going to be talking about the hair samples that we find. We're going to show you guys a bunch of different hair samples. And I just got another sample from John and Wendy Day. John Day was just on Swamp Mysteries with a relative of his, Troy Landry, from Swamp People. And they were investigating an area that their family has been having experiences. There's a hunting lease, and then there's a piece of privately owned property, and then there's an area that they all go into, and they found hair samples in there. And so we're looking at the hair samples, and of course when I got them and I opened the envelope, just looking at what's in the envelope is exactly what's in my envelopes. It's the same exact stuff. The difference between what we find that we're attributing to these unclassified creatures, whatever they may end up being, and plant life is very subtle. What we are indeed finding, just by looking at it, is hair from a creature that is so embedded in the environment that the environment begins to take over their hair. Check this out. We can see all through here that it changes colors, and then as the canopy shifts, you get shimmers in the back in there, and watch how it moves. You see how the hair, it moves back and forth on there, right? This is an effect that really has look at how it glows. It has a profound effect on you when you see a million of these things all doing this at the same time on something that also has skin that changes color in real time right there in front of you. And so what you're witnessing right here is what some eyewitnesses have seen, myself as one of them, where this thing, it appeared to have an aura glowing around it, and you can see why I say that now. This is the kind of corroboration that you're looking for. You want to see these little oil deposits. You'll also see debris from where they've been chewing the plants. And that's also normal. So the green, fibrous kind of stuff around it or on it. But this is clearly that hair. And so we're going to take a look at a sample now from a possible Dogman area, or an area that holds Dogman, and it's known to hold Sasquatch. So we're going to see how these South Florida samples compare with samples from John Day. He was recently on an episode of Swamp Mysteries with Troy Landry, investigating in the swamps of Louisiana. Let's take a look at this hair sample that John sent me from that exact area that they researched on Swamp Mysteries with Troy. So we're looking at that hair sample from John and Wendy, and this is what they're finding in Louisiana, in that parish they live in, on one of their hunting leases and on their private property. And just looking through the sample, it matches what we find here in Florida magnificently. You can see the hairs here have growth on them, as well as that shimmer coloration thing going on right there. Let's see if we can get a better look at it. There we go. Now you can see it, right? It's on this side here. It's a really big, thick black hair, and it's got this shimmer. Let's see what happens when we turn the lights down on that a little bit, and if it turns green, because it glows a green usually. If it's the same thing we find, and you can see it, baby, there it is, right? It's got that green glow. This is the same stuff that we're finding, and we're going to do a couple little experiments here, and it really does do exactly the same thing that our hair samples do. You get movement from the color changes in there. You can see it's got all that same kind of dynamic where it moves, it glows, it's got that like weird thing about it. But let's take a look at other parts of the sample and see what else we can look at here. We got some of their property producing these samples that fully match what we're finding in Florida. I mean, there's no doubt about this sample matching up to what we find in Florida. In fact, If anything, these creatures appear to be a bit more embedded. The hairs are definitely compounded with debris, and you can see massive amounts of damage to each particular hair. Some hairs have begun to dreadlock. You can see that's what we're witnessing right in here, where the hairs are actually starting to go together. But by all means, it appears to be the exact same hair. And we're going to do a little light testing here. You can see how this is like what's going on. There's a lot of debris in the hair, but this is like, I can tell you it is exactly what we find here. Nobody can identify this. They can get to over 22 inches because I found them over that. But I have samples right now that are from John and Wendy that some of them appear to be pretty long like that. 20 inches, 18, 20 inches. And that's insane. When you start looking at what's going on and the fact that nobody wants to identify what's leaving these gigantic hairs in the swamp. And this creature is obviously embedded in the environment because the damage to the hair sample it says that, right? See, this part of it is unbelievable because it shows how the creature is literally becoming a part of the environment. This is hair, guys. Look at what this stuff, it just looks like a part of the forest. It looks like miniature branches. It's nuts. So regardless of, we're trying to find some more interesting samples in here. And there's just, some of these hairs are in excess of 20 inches long, man. I mean, these are some significantly large hairs to begin with. Look at that one. See, it's got like a purplish tone to it. You see those purples in it? A little bit, yeah. Okay, so here we can see. And in looking at it, just the way this light moves on it is fascinating, you know. It'll do this kind of an effect with human hair as well, but not to this degree. And it's got like this glow kind of a feel to it. It's interesting. On here, and we run it through back and forth. Look at that, guys. We're eating potato chips and we're reviewing Bigfoot footage. So this is one of the huge creatures that we think exists based on the data, and that's what you're looking at, the data. You can see there's something going on there. It looks immense. Further documentation obviously needed on this, but as you can see, Kathleen appears to be about 40 feet from an immense creature. And I don't think, looking at this, that, my mind says there's no doubt about that. I mean, but definitely we will try to document in this area. We know right where this is, too. Camp Crypto Reality. Are giants real? More will be revealed.